Coming up on Cronkite News, Arizona teachers gathered today urging state senators to support a bill preventing budget cuts in the schools.
Plus, we take a look at how Arizonans feel about the environment and climate issues.
And later, we discuss the effects that climate change has on the North American bird population.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm SEDONA MEADOWS.
And I'm COLT ALMODOVA. Thank you for joining us. Today, teachers gathered at the state capitol demanding action from legislators, and their voices may have been heard. Andrea Villalobos tells us why teachers are spending a day off of school fighting for their students.
Teachers across Arizona are concerned that their jobs are in danger and that their students may be left without critical resources if a spending cap on education funding isn't raised. The House voted to raise the limit last week, and today the Senate took up the matter. Signs like this were on display at the Capitol this President's Day as students, parents, and teachers showed up at the Capitol to have their voices heard. They say not extending the cap on education funding could have devastating effects on schools.
Thousands of educators will be either furloughed or they will be RIFed, which means reduction in force. They'll lose their job. Bus drivers could lose their jobs. Parents are going to probably have to go back to homeschooling because there won't be enough folks at the actual physical building to do instruction at the school sites.
I've seen in my classroom a lot of growth since the beginning of the year, and I just want to finish the year with my kids in the classroom so we can continue that growth.
Late this afternoon, the Senate passed the override of the spending cap by a vote of 23-6, with one senator not voting. The bill still needs to be signed by the governor. The bill passed with bipartisan support. The 6 noes were all Republicans. Even with this vote, educators say they won't give up the fight until the bill is signed by the governor. In the newsroom, Andrea Villalobos, Cronkite News.
Arizona's public school system was ranked the worst in the United States based on a new study done by Schoolaroo.com. Arizona ranked in the bottom 5 for multiple categories, including student safety, student success, teacher salary, graduation rate, and even last place in school quality. Arizona also ranked 50th in student-to-counselor ratio. The study found that Arizona has an average ratio of 716 students for every counselor. The ratio comes at almost 3 times worse than the recommended ratio of 250 students per counselor. And speaking of public schools, the Arizona State House of Representatives passed a new bill that would no longer make Algebra 2 a required class for high school graduation. The bill passed the House with a 33-26 vote and is now on its way over to the Senate. The bill says high school students still need to take 4 years of math to graduate, but one of those years no longer has to be Algebra 2. Alternative math class options include classes like personal finance or computer science. The Arizona House approved 2 Republican-backed bills that are set to loosen state gun laws. The one bill will allow guns in libraries and other public buildings, while the other will allow loaded weapons in vehicles on school grounds. GOP Representative John Kavanaugh's bill of allowing permit holders to carry firearms in public buildings has failed frequently in recent years. The bills received no Democratic support and are now going to the Senate.
A new survey of bipartisan voters from 8 western states show that voters are increasingly worried about the environment. Luke Vickery breaks down how Arizonans specifically answered the survey.
In the 2022 Conservation in the West poll out of Colorado College, voters responded to questionings concerning conservation, energy, water, wildlife, and other pressing challenges. They polled more than 3,400 people in western states to get an idea of what our communities think of our environment. Here's what Arizonans think. Experts say protecting an interconnected network of lands and waters will give us the best chance at curbing the worst effects of climate change. It seems most Arizonans agree, with almost 80% of them supporting a national goal of protecting 30% of America's water and land by 2030. Speaking of land, Arizona is mostly public land, and that may be one reason why 64% of Arizonans say they have visited public lands at least twice in the past year. Fire and drought is also a concern. According to the survey, 81% of Arizonans are concerned about more frequent and severe wildfires. That fits with what we have seen out here in terms of wildfires. The acreage burn in the U.S. has nearly doubled in the last 3 decades. Another big concern for Arizonans, water. According to the survey, 83% are concerned about drought and reduced snowpack. Another environmental issue is our energy consumption. Recently, renewable energy sources accounted for about 13% of total energy consumption. Yet 69% of Arizonans support slowly transitioning to only clean, renewable energy over the next decade. The poll broke down results by ethnic backgrounds, and it showed voters of all ethnicities were almost equally concerned about the state of our environment. At the Google touchscreen, Luke Vickery, Cronkite News.
Coming up after the break, the Great American Bird Count. We take a look at how climate change is affecting our bird populations in the U.S.
Plus, we tell you why you may start to see higher prices when it comes to buying avocados.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
wow,
feast,
and calories don't count.
Look back,
that is me,
discover.
And you know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
The Arizona Department of Health Services announced that they are changing their daily COVID-19 update to a weekly COVID-19 update. The data will be updated each Wednesday starting March 2nd. February 26th will be the last daily update. The department says with COVID-19 metrics declining, they believe it is time for a change. The website has provided daily updates on numbers of deaths, cases, vaccination rates, and more since the pandemic began. ADHS says the daily reporting requires, quote, a great deal of work on part of the hospitals, ADHS, and others, and it has been time and effort well spent.
Pima County will start distributing fentanyl test strips to locations in the county to help combat overdose deaths. Fentanyl is a dangerous drug because it takes only a very small amount in order to trigger an overdose. The test strips can detect if a drug has been laced with any fentanyl. Pima County hopes that distributing the test strips to various agencies and clinics is a helpful harm reduction strategy to lower overdoses in the county.
The U.S. Embassy announced the ban on avocados has been lifted just after a week. And while exports are set to resume, we may start to see higher prices. The decision came after Mexico and the U.S. agreed to take safety measures when it comes to inspectors making sure that the avocados do not carry diseases or pests that could harm orchards in the U.S. The suspension affected $3 billion in Mexico's annual exports, which may raise avocado prices for U.S. consumers. Companies may now need to look for imports beyond Mexico, which currently supplies around 80% of our avocados.
4 days each February, birds take central stage as people all over the world share their bird sightings through the Great Backyard Bird Count. Cronkite News reporter Atria Maneshny joins us now. And Atria, how can people get involved?
Today is the last day for this bird count, and you can be a citizen scientist by observing birds simply from your own backyard or your favorite park. All it takes to participate is a smartphone or a computer and some love for nature.
The Great Backyard Bird Count started with one simple question posed by the National Audubon Society and Cornell Lab of Ornithology.
They were curious that if we created a project and some simple tools that invited people to tell us what birds they were seeing, whether they would tell us.
The answer was an overwhelming yes. People love sharing their bird sightings so much that the Great Backyard Bird Count is now celebrating its 25th year. The data is entered on eBird. It's a citizen science tool used to track bird trends.
What we're seeing, general patterns are birds' ranges are expanding and or changing. And a lot of that expansion might be related to climate change, depending on the species that we're looking at.
Here in Arizona, the state is home to more than 500 different birds.
Arizona is at the convergence of many different vegetation zones. So we have the Rocky Mountains, the Sierra Madre from northwest Mexico, and also 4 different deserts.
Some birds in Arizona, like the mountain bluebird and the Clark's nutcracker, may lose their current range due to climate change. They could be forced to find a more suitable habitat. That's according to the Audubon Society.
I know that in terms of the Hassayampa River Preserve, where I've been for 4.5 years, and even before my time here, we've had multiple species that have been moving northward with climate change.
The main goals of the Great Backyard Bird Count are to unite new and returning bird watchers around the world and to help scientists gather valuable data. As of Sunday morning, more than 6,100 unique species of birds have been observed during the count. You can see the bird hotspots coming in on the real-time map by eBird.
Tonight is the last night for the bird count, and it wraps up at midnight. So go on out and find some birds to report on. In downtown Phoenix, Atria Mineshny, Cronkite News.
Well, after a sunny weekend, today was a cloudy one here in the Valley. Evan Liss is in the Weather Center with more on what we can expect later on this week.
Happy President's Day, everybody. We have a really impactful storm system that's going to be targeting the Southwest this week. We have precipitation likely for many parts of the state, rain in the lower elevations, snow in the high terrain. Winds are going to kick up, and we're going to see some really cool highs. It's going to be a shock to the system after all these 80s we've had. Look at the big picture here. It's already starting to get windy with the storm system approaching from the northwest. Going into tomorrow, we have some minor rain and snow begin, but it's really Wednesday to pay attention to. That is the storm impact day for the storm system. Heavy snow in the high terrain. At the same time, we'll be seeing rain in the lower elevations as well. Winds will still be on standby during that time period as well. Thursday, the storm system moves out already pretty quickly. Sunshine returns and we start to warm up going into the weekend. We have wind advisories issued by the National Weather Service already in the high terrain. They're not down in the lower Colorado River Valley. However, winds are going to be gusty in this area today as well. Winter weather alerts. This is what we need to pay attention to with the storm system. Places at 5,000 feet or above. Flagstaff, Heber Overgaard, Doney Park, Forest Lakes. Places like these need to pay attention for the storm system. Flagstaff could see up to 17 inches of snow in the next couple of days. Looking at the matrix, the impact matrix in and around the state. For northern Arizona, we have minor snow Monday going into midday Tuesday. This bullet point right here, this is by far the most important on this graphic. Heavy snow Tuesday evening into Thursday morning. Great for snowball, but if you're traveling, it's going to be treacherous. Try to stay off the roads in the high country. Snow will be accumulating on Wednesday down to 4,000 feet. But again, it's that 5,000 feet and above places. Those places need to pay attention. Down in the lower deserts, the impacts won't be as intense, but will still be breezy going through Wednesday with the highest winds in the Colorado River Valley, and rain is likely for us on Wednesday. Storm impact day, Tuesday, Wednesday, 56 degrees. That's going to be a shock to the system after all the 80s we've had. So pay attention in terms of what you're going to be wearing on Wednesday in the Valley of the Sun. But sunshine returns starting on Thursday, and we warm up going into the weekend, 69 degrees on Saturday. And the low 80s return already at the beginning of next week. For now, I'm Evan Liss in the Cronkite News Weather Center.
I'm Ashley Engel, and coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. It was a busy weekend for Suns fans. We have the good and the bad from the All-Star Game next.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
And calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover,
You know the whole story.
there's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Ashley Engel, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. We start with some tough news for Suns fans. Point guard Chris Paul fractured his right thumb against the Rockets last week. Paul has been leading the team this year in assists and steals, averaging almost 11 assists and 2 steals a game. Paul will be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks. In the meantime, backup point guard Cam Payne will be playing for Paul during his absence. There's some good news for Paul as he was awarded the Kobe and GIGI BRYANT Advocacy Award. Paul received the honor for his advancement in girls and women's basketball and being an advocate for the WNBA. This was the first time the award has been presented. As for the NBA All-Star Game, Suns coach Monty Williams led the team LeBron to victory. Williams was coaching against Devin Booker, who played for Team Durant. Booker was the second leading scorer on the team, putting up 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Taking a look ahead of the schedule for the Suns without CP3, they have 24 games remaining in regular season, with 10 of those games against teams with winning records. The biggest challenge for Phoenix in Paul's absence will be holding the lead over Golden State for the top seed in the Western Conference going into the playoffs. The green flag was waved for the NASCAR season to begin on Sunday with the annual Daytona 500. Valley native Michael McDowell was looking to defend his title from last year, but ended up finishing 7th. The race was won by rookie Austin Cindric, running his first full season for Roger Penske.
It's amazing. It's a racer's dream, and to be able to come here and do it my second time with this team and for Ford Performance Discount Tire means the world to me to be able to pull it off. And it takes a great team, and I'm just so happy. We're in the All-Star race. We're in the playoffs now. Obviously, a Daytona 500 winner doesn't get much better.
And NASCAR made its presence felt here in the Valley today as it teamed up with the Black History Mural Project. The group unveiled a new design at the corner of 1st and Grant Street. The mural depicts Wendell Scott, the first African-American to win a race in the Grand National Series, which was NASCAR's highest level at the time. The painting shares a wall with a mural of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scott was a trailblazer in the sport and helped pave the way for future black drivers.
We're all familiar with Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali and the pioneers that they were in their respective sports, but not many are familiar with the story of Wendell Scott. And that's what I'm most excited about this story, is that for generations, our youth will be able to walk past this mural. Families will be able to walk past this mural and be inspired by his grit and determination to be a champion.
As we head towards the end of high school basketball season, an era at Mountain View High School has come to an end as its final season for their long-term head coach, Gary Ernst. But as Cronkite News reporter Ryan Blank tells us, Ernst did not leave on his own terms.
After 38 years of leading the Mountain View boys basketball program, Gary Ernst has coached his final game for the Toros.
When the job opened up in the summer of '84, I knew this was the job that I wanted. It's a special place, and it means everything to me.
Despite being Arizona's all-time leader with 943 wins and 8 state championships, 7 coming with the Toros, Ernst was stunned to hear he was let go by the school's principal with no option to return.
Completely shocked. I thought that I had served this community and that I deserved more than releasing me at the end of the season. I just don't think it was handled very well. I thought I deserved a lot more than that.
Mountain View's final game on February 11th came in front of a packed house as Toro Nation honored the legendary coach.
To see this kind of support in our gym means everything to me. It's just such a neat feeling to see so many people care about you.
Honestly, every coach was trying to emulate what Coach Ernst was doing, and that's how he had so much success, starting kids at a very young age.
Over the past 38 years here at Mountain View, it has never been about the wins, it has never been about the state championships for Ernst. It has always been about the players and creating bonds that are everlasting.
I used to go to camps in kindergarten, and now I'm in 11th grade. I've been here for 11 years of school, and it's just been awesome getting to know him. Great personality, great coach, great guy, and everything he does.
You can go almost to any guy that's played at Mountain View. You can go back to when they're in elementary school, and you develop that love for playing basketball on the court right here. And then you go to the games and you watch what it takes to be a Toro. We just were all so fortunate to be a part of it. Great tradition, great culture, built by a great man.
I'm gonna miss being with the kids more than anything. Kids come back and see you after they've been on a mission, they've been to college, they've got family. It's just a rewarding occupation.
While Ernst has not ruled out coaching again, he plans on spending more time with his wife Susie and his ever-growing family. In Mesa, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
ASU men's basketball has a big road matchup tonight against number 12 UCLA. They defeated the Bruins at home back on February 5th. The Sun Devils are coming off a victory over Oregon State this past Saturday as things are looking better for Bobby Hurley's squad. The Bruins come into tonight's matchup third in the Pac-12 standings while ASU sits at ninth. Down in Tucson, the University of Arizona moved up to number 2 in the country in the AP men's basketball rankings. That's all for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Colt and Sedona.
A landmark in Arizona made the list of the most Instagrammable places in America. Coming up, we'll tell you which famous destination people are posting about the most.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches me, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
The Grand Canyon is the second most Instagram landmark in the United States. Printique, a photo and design company, looked at hashtag data on Instagram, found the Grand Canyon had 358,000 posts each year. Times Square ranked #1 with 410,000 posts each year. Next time you're visiting the Grand Canyon, snap a picture and hashtag your posts with the hashtag Grand Canyon.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.